I abandoned my family, and I am okay with it. I discovered Eve's affair by chance. Came home late from a safety seminar, she was sleeping on the couch, and a message with emojis popped up on her phone. Emojis like I would use when messaging her. I snooped and found 5 months of messages with Adam, her work colleague, a married man with 3 kids. While reading their messages, something snapped. I went from loving Eve to hating her to just going blank, totally numb. I took pictures and went to bed, staring at the ceiling all night. Eve was pissed the next morning that I didn't wake her up. I wasn't listening. Everything was muffled, like someone had turned down the volume on the world. During breakfast, I didn't say a single word. My wife and 13-year-old daughter chatted away. They didn't notice anything different about me or even acknowledge me. For 5 days, I went through daily motions without talking. Nobody noticed. I started understanding that they didn't really love me. Unless they wanted something, they didn't interact. They talked at me, not with me. On day 6, I packed camping gear and waited at the kitchen table for Eve to come home. She arrived with groceries, immediately talking about her day while unpacking. Didn't look at me except one glance. Our daughter did the same. Their backs turned to me, talking about trivial sales. I have never felt so invisible. I was thinking back on our lives, and all I could see was that they didn't care about me at all. I was just a convenient prop. A wave of pain hit me. I cried. Still, they didn't notice. I stood up and threw my water glass hard at the tiles over the sink. It exploded. Glass shards raining everywhere. They both turned around. What the hell? They froze when they saw my tear-soaked face. Long silence before I spoke. Eve, I know all about your cheating with Adam. My daughter looked at Eve. Is that true, Mom? Eve briefly glanced at me. Sorry, I can explain. Then turned back to our daughter and they started arguing. It was like I was invisible again. After a few minutes watching their argument, I just walked out and got in my car. They didn't even notice I had left. Took maybe 15 minutes before Eve tried calling. I ignored it and turned the phone off. Next day, I took half our money, called my boss. He said if I didn't show up, I was fired. I said okay and hung up. Went to Adam's house. His wife opened. I gave her copies of the messages. Left her crying on the stairs. Eve's brother Bob is a cop. He showed up on day 3, put me in cuffs but didn't take me to the station. Dragged me home instead, where my wife and daughter immediately started berating me about how terrible this was for them. I stared at Eve. I have nothing to say to you. Bob slammed me against the wall, screaming not to talk to his sister that way. I smiled at him. Pathetic Bob. Did you beat your wife too? Is that why she left you? Bob hit me hard. I went down, started laughing. I was bleeding, still in handcuffs. Spat blood in his face. Fuck you, Bob. He hit me again hard enough to knock me unconscious. I woke in the hospital. Told the nurse my family put me here and they weren't to come near me. I made letters to each of them. Told my daughter she'd be without a father now. Told Eve to sell the house, that I won't pay mortgage anymore. That reconciliation was impossible. That I would disappear, and if she interfered again, I would simply end myself. I escaped the hospital through the fire escape. Traded my car for a small RV and disappeared. Got a new phone. Only called my father. Told him if he gave my number to anyone, I'd become totally unreachable. I ghosted all of society. Now I'm just a P.O. box. I do odd jobs for cash, hunt, and fish. I don't pay taxes. When people ask my name, I say, people call me Fred. It's not my name. I work when I want, spend time in nature. I'm in the best shape of my life. At least now, no one is using me while pretending they care. My little brother destroyed my wedding dress with scissors, and he's my hero for life. Nathan burst through the bridal suite door carrying fabric scissors and started slashing my dress to pieces. Beadings scattered across the floor while my bridesmaids screamed. The dress hung in tatters with the ceremony starting in 3 hours and 200 guests already arriving. Nathan, what have you done? I whispered, staring at the ruins. My maid of honor was crying about how we'd never find another dress. My mom shook Nathan by the shoulders, demanding to know what was wrong with him. Nathan looked me straight in the eyes and said, I found something on David's phone last night that you need to see before you marry him. My heart stopped. David was supposed to be perfect. My college sweetheart who everyone said was made for me. Nathan showed me screenshots that made the room spin. Conversations between David and his ex-girlfriend Rachel from 3 days ago, where he told her he wasn't sure about marrying me and wanted to see her one more time before the wedding. There were texts where he said I was safe and stable, but Rachel was his real passion. The timestamp showed these were sent during my bachelorette party. That's not the worst part, Nathan said, scrolling to more screenshots. David had been planning to meet Rachel tonight after our reception at the hotel where we were supposed to spend our wedding night. He'd booked a separate room under his friend's name and told Rachel he needed to know if they still had a connection. The messages included detailed plans about sneaking away from our own wedding celebration. My mom grabbed the phone. The evidence was unmistakable. The final message was from this morning, sent while I was getting my makeup done, where David told Rachel he was going through with the ceremony because it was too late to back out. How did you even see these? David had left his phone charging in our living room last night. and messages kept popping up on the lock screen. Nathan took screenshots, knowing no one would believe him without proof. I told the wedding planner there wasn't going to be a wedding. Maybe it's just cold feet, my mom said. The man I was supposed to marry in 2 hours was planning to cheat on me on our wedding night. Nathan grabbed my hands. I'd rather ruin your dress than let you ruin your entire life marrying someone who doesn't really want you. He'd stayed awake all night, trying to figure out how to tell me. Destroying the dress was the only way he could think to stop the wedding. When David called, Chelsea answered on speaker. There's a serious problem. You need to come immediately. David arrived 10 minutes later. He saw the destroyed dress and his face went through shock, confusion, then something that looked almost like relief. Nathan stepped forward, holding up the screenshots. David's face went completely white. I can explain, David started. There's nothing to explain. Then David's phone started buzzing. Nathan grabbed it. The new messages were from Rachel, asking if he was really going through with the wedding and reminding him about their midnight meeting. She'd written that she'd been thinking about him all morning and couldn't wait to be in his arms tonight. Nathan read Rachel's messages out loud. She was already at the Marriott waiting for him, having driven 4 hours for their planned rendezvous. The final message, I can't believe you're actually going to marry her when you know we belong together. My 78-year-old grandmother stood up, looked David straight in the eye and said, you are a coward and a liar, and my granddaughter deserves so much better. Then she hugged Nathan, telling him he was the bravest young man she'd ever known. David finally broke down, admitting he'd been confused for months, but didn't know how to call off the wedding. He said seeing Rachel again at his bachelor party had made him realize he'd never gotten over her. My dad, who'd just arrived, exploded. You had months to figure this out. You let us spend $40,000 on this wedding, and you were planning to cheat on her tonight. We went to the venue anyway, and turned it into a family gathering. My dad announced to all 200 guests that the wedding was canceled due to the groom's unfaithfulness. A few guests actually started clapping when they realized I dodged a bullet. Nathan sat beside me, still holding the scissors. I wrapped my arms around him and told him he was the bravest person I knew. He'd risked everyone being mad at him to protect me from a marriage built on lies.